Items are a pivotal part of competitive battling, and they play a pretty big role in a lot of Pokemon sets. In this video, we'll be discussing the top 5 competitive items, in my opinion, to use in battle. I won't be counting items such as Mega Stones, Z Crystals, and Berries in this video, since there are so many different kinds of them, and I do plan on making a similar video to this about Berries, Z Crystals, and maybe even Mega Stones in the future. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, of course, and let me know in the comments down below what your favorite held item is for competitive battling. Number 5, the Eevee Light. Eevee Light was introduced in Generation 5, and it made a lot of Pokemon that aren't fully evolved much more viable. If you guys don't know what this item does, it gives Pokemon that aren't fully evolved a 1.5 times boost to both of their defenses. This item alone is why Chansey is used more than Blissey, and this is also why Pokemon like Gligar, Tangela, and Porygon 2 are very good today, even though they aren't fully evolved. Now, the Eevee Light really isn't all that common in higher tiers, but it did allow for a lot of Pokemon that aren't fully evolved to become much more competitive in the lower tiers, and it really did shape up a lot of the lower tier metagame today. Number 4, Assault Vest. The Assault Vest was introduced in Generation 6, and it gives a 1.5 boost to the user's special defense stat at the expense of only being able to go for offensive moves. This behaves somewhat similar to the Eevee Light like I mentioned before, however this works on fully evolved Pokemon and it only boosts special defense rather than boosting both defenses. And you can also go for offensive moves, meaning you can't do something like give a Mandibuzz an Assault Vest and then try to click Roost or something like that. This item is a personal favorite of mine, and one of my favorite Pokemon to pair it with is Conkaldur. Conkaldur is one of those Pokemon that is already super strong and doesn't really need an item on it, but it does lack a little bit on the special defensive side. Slapping an Eevee Light on this helps it out a lot, especially since most Conkeldurs run 4 offensive moves anyway, and they don't really hinder from Assault Vest holding you back by only being able to go for offensive moves. Number 3, Life Orb. Life Orb is a fantastic item that works well on most fast offensive Pokemon. The Life Orb makes the user's moves do 1.3 times more damage at the expense of 10% of your health every time you go for an attack. This drawback really isn't all that bad, as the extra damage paired with a fast Pokemon can help you with a lot of sweeps. One Pokemon that I really like using the Life Orb on is Tapu Koko, as it is already really fast, but can use a slight boost in the special attacking department on top of the electric terrain. Giving Koko certainly helps with this, as your Dazzling Gleams and non-electric moves will do much more damage. Number 2, Choice Items. I decided to lump the Choice Scarf, Choice Band, and Choice Specs all into the same category, since they do all have similar functions, and they are some of the best items in the game in my opinion, and I didn't want them to take up this entire list with 3 different spots. Choice Band gives you a 1.5 attack boost, Choice Scarf gives you a 1.5 speed boost, and Choice Specs gives you a 1.5 boost to special attack. And they all have the same drawback of only allowing the user to go for one singular move while it is sent out in battle, whether it is an offensive move or a status move. This can be mitigated by switching out, of course, and if you play smart, this drawback really isn't too bad. You can send out a Choice Scarf user late game and only go for moves that'll hit your enemy's team hard enough. You don't want to go for, say, an electric move with a Choice Specs user when they have a ground type. Now, I personally prefer the Choice Scarf out of these 3, as it can help slower Pokemon with a higher attack or special attack stat get a lot more KOs than they normally would have. One Pokemon that I really enjoy using the Choice Scarf on is Hoopa Unbound, as it only has a base speed stat of 80, and not too many things take a hit from it, especially if you go for a Hyperspace Fury, allowing you to get a lot more KOs than you normally would have. Now, before we get to the number 1 item in my opinion, I want to mention some honorable mentions here. The Expert Belt behaves kind of similar to the Life Orb, does a 1.2 times boost to moves that are super effective, however it does not cost you to lose any HP. The Focus Sash, which allows the user to live with 1 HP if they are sitting at full HP, which can be very nice on a lot of Pokemon as well. The Rocky Helmet, which is another personal favorite of mine that does damage to the enemy if they go for a contact move while your Pokemon's holding it. The Weakness Policy, which can be a lot of fun. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced losing to a Weakness Policy sweep. One of the most fun items to use in my opinion, however it's a little bit too gimmicky to use reliably. And then finally, I just want to give another honorable mention to the Damp Rock, the Smooth Rock, and the Heat Rock, as they make weather a lot better, being able to have them out for a longer period of time. And in the number 1 slot, Leftovers. Leftovers were first introduced in Generation 2, and it easily became one of the most used items in competitive battling, especially since at the time it was really the only item you could use. Being able to restore some health at the end of each turn is fantastic, especially on bulkier Pokemon that don't have recovery such as Tapu Fini. Even if they do have recovery like PaPaSea, having leftovers on it is fantastic. This item, as you can imagine, allows Pokemon to live a little bit longer each turn, and if you pair with Pokemon like Sylveon or Florges, you can go for Wish and Protect with the leftovers, healing off even more health from the Wish, which can be very annoying. However, they are both very good sets. Pretty much every Pokemon in the game, except for Shedinja I guess, can benefit in one way or another from holding the leftovers, and if you can't think of an item to give your Pokemon, leftovers is a pretty good filler choice. And those are the top 5 held items for competitive battling in my opinion. Let me know what your favorite held items are in the comment section down below, and of course make sure you guys click that like button and subscribe with notifications on if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a great rest of your day, I will see you guys next time, and bye bye.